Hi, John. Michael Bliss here again for growloveandexpand.com. Member of questions, comments, and concerns, you can reach me at jbliss30@gmail.com. And please visit my Facebook page, Grow, Love, and Expand, and also the website, growloveandexpand.com. I want to talk today a little bit about God. What God is, who God is, and what God is all about, and what people's perceptions are. Now, as always, I invite you to challenge your belief system, to challenge what you think might be, and to be open-minded. Always ask yourself too: does this ring true for me? Don't take my word for it. Don't take anybody's word for it. Do your own research. If it feels good in here, like, okay, this guy actually makes sense, then by all means, ask questions, follow it. I've been doing this a very long time, and I'm going to give you what sort of my perception of what God is. And when I first kind of got into life, so to speak, I was raised Catholic, and I really had a fascination with Jesus, to be honest with you, growing up. Had an extreme fascination of what Jesus was. Who was this person? What was his life like? I don't know why. There were several things. I actually had, I was really fascinated in Sasquatch, Bigfoot, believe it or not. I don't know why. I was always fascinated with Minnesota, the state of Minnesota, growing up. I don't know why. I still have not visited there, want to go there. Don't know why. Love the state, and I've never been there. I've always had a fascination with psychics. Sylvia Brown. I grew up in San Jose, California, and Sylvia Brown was close in Campbell, California. And she was a big time, I saw her on TV, I think. She's, of course, blown up. She's passed away. I think she got a little off track, but anyways, I was always fascinated with certain topics. And to me, growing up, God was like just sort of a figure, like most people, in God in the sky, an individual passing down judgment, and, who's right and who's wrong. And, if you mess up, you're going to hell, and all these things, that was kind of my perception. And so you can imagine when a lot of this stuff happened later in my life, and I always thought I was different, as far as being intuitive. You know, Later on, when I had this change of life, with like an earlier video, I said when my grandfather died, and it sort of kind of got me really questioning, like, who am I, what am I, these kinds of things, which, so many people have these questions. That really took me on a journey. And then, I started developing my psychic skills, my intuition even further. And, it's like, wow, this is not good. This is evil. You're not supposed to go there. And, all those thoughts go in my mind, because this is kind of the way I sort of taught. So there was a lot of fear associated with this process. And what I had learned going through this whole ordeal, is that really, God is none of those things, okay? God is one thing and one thing only, and that is love. And God is in everything and is all things, period. I don't care what it is. God is an energy. You can look at it like a person, okay, but it's really more of an energy. It's just a way of being, and what it is pure absolute love. It's solid truth to a lot of ways too. God is infinite. God is not one thing, but all things, and in all things. So then that begs the reason, right? So if God's in all things, does evil exist, right? And the question is no. Evil really does not exist. Are there bad people, bad humans? Yes. But evil itself does not exist. It just simply doesn't. I know people want to believe that, and people want to just relish in that drama and that whole, reality of life, but it's just simply not true. In all the years that I've been doing this, I've not ever once experienced that. And the ones that these people that come up to me and go, yeah, but we've explained it away. We basically said a lot of times people create their own reality through their own consciousness and what they believe, and that's what they attract. But it's not really real. The truth of the matter is, what is real is only one thing: love. That is it. In the beginning, there was light and only light. Well, what makes you think that's changed? Nothing has changed. Nothing. All that exists is light. Period. That's it. We created everything. We created the linear aspect of time. We created the linear reality of duality. We created that. Why? I don't know. Maybe we needed to bounce a good against a bad in order to see another path, to see maybe what we were doing wasn't for our best and highest good, and to turn the leaf here. I've always said that like the so-called devil, and people say Lucifer. Well, let's pose it a little bit differently here, right? What if people are moseying along and they're unaware of who they are? And then they're just sort of going through life. The one thing that's fascinating about life is which kind of was not expected, so to speak, is the birthing process. There seems to be a forgetfulness from who we are, right, to when we born, kind of come down through the channel into the physical world. We kind of forget who we are. And that we get into later, why we set in sort of, processes to help us remember, but we kind of forget. So in the beginning, remember, this is all sort of just kind of working itself through. It's kind of like an experiment, so to speak, and we're just trying to kind of figuring this out in a lot of ways. A lot of times, reason why God knows so much is because it's been done 1,000 times before. And I got to tell you, a lot of things that you do in your life now were actually already programmed and in sort of like the etheric world before it even got to you. So they know all the avenues. But that's a whole nother topic. We're talking basically about like where we were at, and maybe we weren't seeing ourselves for our highest and best good. And so maybe God, let's say, or the energy of God sort of asked somebody, like, I'm just, very simple terms here. We need sort of an interference. We need something to kind of show them the opposite, because they're not really moving, progressing, and so will you sort of do this for me? And then let's say the person is sort of Lucifer, and he says, well, that's kind of asking a lot. I mean, I'm going to be looked at as a very bad guy. He goes, I know, but you're doing it for the greater good. You're helping people see what they're doing into a certain way that isn't for the best and highest good, to get them to move into the best and highest good. Because, see, if you forget kind of who you are, the true nature of self, which is pure love, will you always act in love? I don't know, because we have free will. So evidence would dictate that we don't always act in pure love, right? Because we don't know who we are, and so it's that whole forgive them for they know not who they are or what they do. So if we really take this way back to the beginning, maybe this was a way to kind of get us back on track, right? And so that's maybe where this whole sort of duality thing kind of came into the process, or came into the works of it, was basically just to get us to see ourselves for maybe what we were doing to ourselves that wasn't for our best and highest good. Then along came later on, like Confucius and Buddha and Jesus to really show us, the enlightened path, the sort of greatness that we truly are. And maybe this is kind of what God is. God is just pure love acting through each and every one of us and co-creating with us on every level. And so, in essence, God is just love. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Pure love. I always say, people say, well, God, you gave me this. And God said, well, this is what you asked for, right? Because remember, you're co-creating. So, in essence, and some of you are going to have a hard time with this. You are God, okay? You are an aspect of God, and you have to understand that you're co-creating constantly with God on all levels, okay? God is pure love, and you are a part of that. You are God, whether you want to believe that or not. And I always say to people, I'm not God. Why do you think so little of yourself? Okay? You are pure love. That's your true makeup. That's who you truly are. We don't always act that way, and yeah, we're learning to kind of understand that and grow into that, absolutely. But the truth of the matter is, you are just pure love. That's your true essence, is love. That is what you are made of. That is what God is. God is love. You are co-creating with God constantly on an everyday basis. And so I always say, look, why not create the good? We got to get past this feeling of I'm not good enough, because you already are, okay? You are God. Start acting like it, okay? Start believing in yourself. Start trusting yourself. Start understanding, not in an egotistical way, because again, that's going to hurt yourself. In a pure loving kindness way. Does that mean you accept rudeness in your life? No. Does that mean you accept bad things? No. No. Pure love only attracts pure love. Okay? That is what you are. That is what God is. Pure, absolute love. Let's follow this up, part 2, and answer some more questions about God. John Michael Bliss for Grow, Love, and Expand.com, and questions concern jbliss30 at gmail.com.